name is Fritz. This bus is the Rome Sweet Home bus. It's been living in it for 3.5 years now.
That's all?
That's all. Come on in. Yep. Okay. This is Chevelle. Yeah.
Everybody should have a furry overlord.
Yes. Yeah, make sure. Should be alright. Alright, the front of the bus, I haven't done a whole lot yet, other than putting a sound competition car stereo into it, and I changed out the seat with a seat from a Silverado, which is much more comfortable. Oh, let's walk down, that's why. So pull-up pantry, built-on casters, and uses a hood pin to lock it in place to keep it from tipping out.
Nice. So what's this?
So yeah, I have an amplifier. These are just crossovers for my front speakers, and I don't have a subwoofer amplifier yet, but once I do, then it'll be a little more powerful. Right now it's only about a 1800 watt system. So I do have a secondary battery specifically for the stereo. So all told, I have 3 battery systems in the whole bus. Fridge is a 110 fridge, 10 cubic foot. With the inverter, it draws about 8 amps total. So while I have solar in the day, I run the fridge, and at night when I don't have solar, I shut it off. There's an extra 1.5 inch insulation all the way around the fridge to keep everything cold. Standard dinette like you would find in a motorhome. It does collapse into a single bed, a 30 inch by 72 inch bed. This side is storage, and that side is a subwoofer enclosure. Countertops are 1.5 inch Baltic birch. This one has a poplar edging, and this one has a cherry edging. The supports are also Baltic birch, but with a blue pine edging on them, just to hide them.
I always liked your where you store the pots.
Pot holders are leftover pieces of the edging from the countertop, just screwed together with pocket hole screws.
Yep.
The ceiling is CDX plywood, 3/8 inch, and behind it is 2 inches of professionally sprayed spray foam. So I have about an R16 on my roof.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about your bus, the uniqueness, is that the windows, some of the windows up front are double glazed.
Yes.
Because it's Alaska.
Yes. So this is an Alaska spec bus from Thomas, which came with 1 inch of spray foam underneath the bus as an undercoating, with a rubberized coating over that. Double pane windows on the driver's window, the student door, and the first 2 windows of the student area. Also it came with a Webasto from the factory, on-spot chains, which are chains that spin underneath your tires for traction, and poly insulation instead of fiberglass insulation like most buses. So since I put the spray foam in the ceiling, the poly insulation came out of the ceiling and got stuffed into the walls. So I built out the walls an extra 1.5 inches. So I have 4 inches of poly insulation in the lower walls. And the back wall has 4 inches of rock wool.
I like the
yeah.
how to keep. I want to keep stuff on. Hey, if you happen to have a few shells,
yeah, a few of those are yours.
I know they are.
But that's just extra blue pine that I had laying around with oak shell.
Yeah, you did that after we get out of the desert.
Yes, I did that just a couple months ago. Yeah.
But Fritz and I spent a lot of the winter together, and he was doing all kinds of work on a bus, and this is the first time I actually got a chance to come in and see it, because it was
Yeah.
like, wait till it's done, wait till it's done.
Yeah, and it's still not done. But
Yeah, it's never done.
close enough. But I wanted to display my coffees and my teas
Sure.
and some other things. So the Jack Daniels doesn't get drunk. This one doesn't, because it says Rome Sweet Home on it.
Ah, cool.
So I had that specially engraved.
And if you want to see Fritz, if you go to the Wasteland,
Yep.
he's there.
There every year.
Yep.
So I've got, everybody has to have a silverware drawer, so made mine extra large and put a secondary slider in it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to have a junk drawer, so I've got a full junk drawer.
I got one that's nothing but wires and cables, and
I've got bins for that.
I haven't opened it in a year, so I'm pretty sure I don't need anything in there.
Nope, time to do a clean out. I have a convection oven in back, a large convection oven, so all of my baking pans are in a pull out.
Yep.
I still haven't finished making the fronts for those. Because this is a Thomas, the windows cant inward 3 degrees and the area above the window cants in 5 degrees. So this shelf was actually cut at 3 degrees. So everything, if it vibrates towards the wall instead of towards the outside.
Yeah, good idea.
All the shelves that have a fence are cut at 5 degrees, so they have to have a fence to keep everything on there. I've got a 40-gallon freshwater tank in back for washing dishes and showering when I do shower at the bus. Most of the time I go to truck stops. The sink is one half of a restaurant sink. It's a 2-pot. I cut one side off, gave it to someone else for their bus, and put this one in here. If you remember the first video, I had that big 24 by 24
Yep.
by 24.
I also remember you cutting it in half.
Yes,
Yeah.
just get in the dumpster. Just a standard Hyperflame stove for cooking on. This stores above the fridge when I'm driving.
Right.
The 14 gallons of water down here are for cooking and for watering the cat.
So what do you do for drinking water?
I drink bottled water.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few companies that doesn't have fluoride in their bottled water, so I only drink that. So on to the loo. Using an idea from you, put my composting toilet in here and the cat box in the same enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 4-inch fan directly above the cat box that draws the air up through the tube to an outlet on the roof. That outlet on the roof keeps the smells out, because as air passes by it draws air out of this enclosure.
Yeah.
So you don't smell the
Yeah,
toilets
you
at all.
got one of those things that picks up for the wind or driving down the road, or
Yep. Yeah, Camcos. And then I just use pine bed shaving for the poo side.
right.
That makes a lot of noise. I'll turn that off. Back here I have a full 4K home theater with a gaming computer. Gaming computer's down here. And my desk is on a pull out here. In the box, in the back here I have 4 Smart Renogy lithium batteries for 400 amp hours. And in the closet I have all my electronics along with all my hanging clothes, my coats and such.
Right.
The bed is a single bed when I'm alone. It does pull out to a full if I have company, which is rare. And for heat in the wintertime, because it gets cold in the desert, I have a wood stove. It's a cubic mini cub. What I do for heating the bus is I'll close the curtain and heat this area up to about 75 degrees. Open up the curtain and let it all mix. It'll stay 65 degrees in the entire bus in sub-freezing weather.
Yeah.
So it's
Nice.
a very good stove. And yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Let's go see the other third of it. This is only 2/3 of the bus. Oops.
Just
Don't
me,
mind the jiggle.
just me bouncing off walls. That's still inside.
Yeah, she's on the dinette. So the paint on this bus is all Rust-Oleum except for the taupe. My body man, Brendan, wanted to cover this whole area with tan, so he took a little of this and a little of that and came up with a little of this taupe. Unfortunately, he was only able to cover this much area, so he told me go down and get some tan. Drove an hour to the Home Depot, picked up some almond because I couldn't find tan, and drove an hour back to the shop, and by the time I got back he had the graphic taped off for the entire bus.
Nice.
And this was all sprayed by him in his shop.
Right.
So presently, to my knowledge, this is the only bus with super single rims and tires in the rear. I used to have dualies, but when I was going to get new tires, my mechanic gave me these rims, and I just had to buy tires for them.
Yep. Well, now you got to paint the hubs.
No, well, I need to get chrome covers for the
Oh,
hubs.
yeah, well, you could do that.
The empty box is an oops, kind of an oops. I went over a railroad track that had a bit steeper on the backside than on the side I was coming from, and so the back of the bus actually launched off the ground, slammed to the ground, popped the door off, and I lost the door and everything inside it.
Yeah.
So $300
You make
worth of
fun
chains.
of my little incident.
Yes, I still make fun of your little incident. The hole in the side of the bus is actually the exhaust for my present generator. Had a bigger generator before where the exhaust came out here, but this generator needed a different location and a bigger hole.
Yep.
So eventually I put a door on it. So in watching a lot of videos, people put their beds in the rear and say the area underneath the bed is the garage. Well, I've had small sheds before, and having to pull everything out to grab one tool is annoying and time consuming. So I designed my bus to have an actual shop.
Yep.
So now, whenever I need a tool, I just walk in, grab it, and get out. I don't have to waste time moving anything.
Yep.
Excuse the mess, but Michigan roads make things messy. I do have an AC unit. It's a 5,000 BTU. I don't quite have enough solar to run it yet. I still need another 300 or 400 watts of solar. So when I run the AC units boondocking, I use the generator.
Right.
But because I cut the hole in the side, this generator stays here unless I'm filling it or changing the oil. Then I can just pull it straight out.
Sure.
Yeah. So almost all my tools are back here, and I can store full 8-foot boards up above there, and a 6-foot sheet of plywood or whatever in the lower area.
Yep. Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, you don't have any. Oh, you got.
I do have media. I do have social media. On Instagram, I am Rome Sweet Home Skoolie. Spaces are underscores. And on YouTube, I'm just strictly Rome Sweet Home.
Yep.
So.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed the tour of that latest rig. I will have a new one next Saturday. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified. So make sure you don't miss them. Lots of cool rigs coming up this year. See you down the road, my friends. Stay safe. Hope you enjoyed the tour of that latest rig. I will have a new one next Saturday. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified. So make sure you don't miss them. Lots of cool rigs coming up this year. See you down the road, my friends. Stay safe.